like he would go that route where you would. I guess we're not trying to book it yet, but it seems like it could be potentially be a good match. This is a situation where Big Cass will either sink or swim with one of the biggest stars in the WWE ever.
Yeah.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. What about you, Justin?
I enjoyed it. I curious to see where this is gonna go. The promo was pretty good. Big Show came out there, got his little deal on him, and made Cass, retreat like a heel would do. I'm pretty excited for this. I'll say I'm excited for this feud. I mean, Big Show hasn't done anything in a while, and just like Dave said, we're gonna see what happens with Big Cass if he sinks or swims. So this will determine it, I guess.
Do you think his promo was pretty good Monday night?
Oh yeah.
Big Show's job now is to put people over, and he's good at doing it. Yeah, that's definitely when it helps him being so big. And then I'm interested to see how these two got. I know the Strowman and Big Show match is really, really good, so I'm pretty sure these two could have a pretty good match. But I mean, damn, SummerSlam is pretty far away. Do you think maybe next week we probably see like a tag match between these two guys or something with Cass and I don't even know who Cass could even team up with to face Big Show and Enzo.
Yeah. I don't know. It just seems odd that they wouldn't want to have Big Cass and Enzo almost at SummerSlam because of the whole New York crowd thing.
And that's why I said that's why I think. Excuse me. They had this feud start way too soon. I think they should have started it with Big Show first, and then have it end up being Enzo at SummerSlam. Okay, my question for you would be this, and then we'll move on. If Cass and Enzo had their match at SummerSlam and it had the same result that it had at Great Balls of Fire, would you have been upset?
I don't think so.
Dave?
I think I would a little bit because I think what's the point of just having Cass just look super over and making Enzo just look like garbage? I think you would almost have to put Enzo over at SummerSlam if they do that somehow, even if it's having Big Show either be ringside or something similar, or have Enzo ringside and cost Big Show the match or cost Cass the match. That'd be another interesting thing too.
Was better off as a mouthpiece. Okay, all right. Am I getting the feeling that a lot of people in the chat room are not very much high on Enzo? Because that's what a lot of people think, that Enzo is going to fade off into the distance. Thank you for all the hearts and all the tweets and the retweets and the shares on Periscope. We appreciate that. Do you think Enzo is going to just fade away, or do you think he's going to be in a big title picture soon, maybe Intercontinental, or maybe in another feud soon, or do you think he's going to fade away onto maybe 205 Live? A jobber, the guy they put up against it just to have him lose every match. What do you guys think?
That's a good question. I don't know, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't see him beating someone like an Ambrose or a Balor or someone like that. I mean, I think eventually he'll be moved to, I don't know, I wouldn't say main event, but I don't know. It's hard to say, honestly, right now.
I think Enzo will come back and have a nice run. He makes the company a lot of money. Oh, I'm sure he does. I love Enzo. Cass is just like, and the big man like Nash, Enzo is special. Yeah, I mean, Enzo is special. He has a mouthpiece. Okay, here's my question for you guys. Is Enzo, because Enzo reminds me a lot of the 1-2-3 kid, right? Sean Waltman, X-Pac. But X-Pac was obviously a little bit more of a believable wrestler that could beat probably guys like a Dean Ambrose and stuff like that. Could you see Enzo beat like a Miz or in Dean Ambrose, or even like a Seth Rollins type of guy? I don't think I could.
I don't either, honestly.
You should probably go to 205 Live. I think honestly he would help 205 Live a lot if you want to think about it. And I know he's kind of too big to be in 205 Live, honestly, but I think I think a lot of little kids like him, and like a lot of stuff like that. I think a lot of little kids will stay for 205 Live for stuff like that. Do you think he's not going to end up on 205 Live, or what about you, Dave? Anything?
I don't think he's going 205 Live. If anything, eventually he'd go to SmackDown, I think. But I think, like people are saying in the chat, I think he's a great mouthpiece and he can talk, and he's getting great reactions. So that's the biggest key right there. The reactions he's
Like
getting.
Santino. That's what I think he'll end up as Santino.
A really good talker on the mic, and I think that's what he is. And he can talk and get people behind him, kind of like similar to maybe even K-Dog and maybe Road Dog to an extent, how he could just get people fired up and on the side like that, How they were just really good at getting the crowd on their side.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Enzo would be, I think, a great manager. And I think do you think he'll get involved? Do you think, man, what if they did like a swerve? I don't think it'll happen. So where maybe Enzo ends up like in Big Show's corner and he turns on Big Show at SummerSlam and they turn into like a heel tag team. I don't think that'll happen.
That makes no sense to me. Why even do this then? Yeah.
Right? Yeah, if you end up doing that. But
I think Enzo could do all right. I'm not saying he'll be a world champion or anything, but I mean, look at Road Dogg. He was never world champion, but he had a good run after they broke up and got back together. But yeah, he had a good run too, though. So I mean, Enzo could easily have a good run.
I don't know, man.
He was like another tag champion with Big Show or somebody else.
I can see Enzo like Daniel Bryan. I can see your comparison like that. I can see maybe he can be an advocate. Yeah.
The crowd reaction, yes, but that's about the only similarity.
Yeah, I think that's what she means. I think that's what she means. I don't think she means wrestling wise. I think she means as crowd reaction. Crowd will get behind him.
It does remind you of. I didn't want to say that, but I didn't want to put the comparison because people think it would blow up about it. But I thought about that. It kind of reminds you of the whole Daniel Bryan situation was going on. Everyone getting behind him, all the yes chants all over the Michigan State thing they did, and all that.
Yeah, he's definitely very popular with the fans, but I don't know if WWE will let him go anywhere. I guess.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see if they get behind him.
Right. If WWE gets behind him, we'll see.
I'm glad.
Wrestling is for guys that like to hug. Really? Well, hey, funny you say that. There's a wrestler named Bailey, and she likes to hug. So I guess maybe you're right. Who knows? Anyways, Samoa Joe, Reigns, Brock Lesnar face off in the ring. Reigns pretty much tells Brock that he deserves a title shot. Brock says, like, pretty much, what have you done to deserve one? Samoa Joe comes down, says that you barely escaped from me. Basically, Kurt Angle makes a match for next week on Raw, Samoa Joe versus Roman Reigns. Winner goes on to face Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Okay, I already have my prediction in mind. I already know I already know the match that's happening at SummerSlam. What do you think happens? What is going to happen what is your match? Brock Lesnar versus Dave. Who do you got?
Well, first off, can I say about this little segment was great because I thought I don't know. I felt like someone said last night is like it gave you goosebumps and chills watching Joe and Brock face to face like that. It's like, man, this is the match this is the match right here that I don't know. It just gives you like, wow, this match would be good. I want a part 2. This match to me, I want it to be Joe and Brock again at SummerSlam, but it's probably not gonna be. Or they can even go triple threat route if they really wanted to. But I mean, man, I really hope it's Joe, but it's probably going to be Reigns as usual. But I think Joe and Brock is the match.
Because Roman versus Lesnar more entertaining, not Joe versus Lesnar. What? That's your opinion. That's fine. I bet these guys were really heated at each other. Yeah. Oh, I think I knew what you mean, Catino. I bought that these guys were heated at each other. Yeah, they really sell that they were pissed off at each other. That was great. What about you, Justin?
I hope so.
I mean, this whole segment to me was the best thing that was on Raw, honestly. And I mean the way that Joe kept going at Heyman and Brock was like, "Hey, you don't talk to Heyman, you talk to me. You talk shit to me, and you don't deserve shit. Right. This and that, blah blah blah."
Oh yeah.
I mean it was badass. It was so good. And as far as the match, I agree with what Dave said. I want it to be Samoa Joe, but just doing what we know that they do is going to be Reigns.
I mean, stuff that Joe
I
said.
think
Your advocate is protecting you from me, so listen to him. I mean, that stuff was just like, man, I really want this match.
I think it's gonna be a fatal 4-way. I think
Who's the other guy?
Strowman. I think Strowman is gonna get involved in the match next week. He wasn't on Raw last week, or I'm sorry, he wasn't on Raw Monday night. They didn't even really give an update. They said that they haven't found him to get an update. He's gonna get involved in that match because he has a valid point. He beat Roman Reigns. He deserves a title shot too, and it's gonna happen.
Couldn't you sell that whole thing a little bit longer though, where he just got almost killed by Reigns in the ambulance? Did you sell that more than a week?
He was out a quote unquote 6 months, right, from an elbow injury, and he came back in
car
like 2
accident.
I mean,
They play him up as a monster. He's gonna be back next week. He's gonna be back.
I just don't like that. I just don't like that story because they played off like he could barely do any, walk away and bleeding everywhere. The way they played it up to have him come back and be fine a week later. I mean, I hate that.
That's kind of I agree.
I do hate that. A week later, he's fine and just interferes in the match.
Well, it's necessarily going to be fine. He can sell injuries. Doesn't mean he doesn't have to get involved in a match. So
I just think he should be gone for a little bit longer than a week after that when they made that play out and they did all that Jaws of Life and he wouldn't take help. I think it should be more than a week. That's just my opinion on that. It would be a good, interesting thing.
I think it's gonna be a fatal 4. It's just too obvious of a setup to have Strowman interfere in this match, and to set up a fatal 4-way at SummerSlam. That's a huge match too. Fatal 4-way at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like they're going a triple threat for the IC title.
Another way to keep these guys still looking strong. It's a fatal 4-way. It's not a singles match, so.
Or I think someone mentioned something else. Say it goes how we think it's going to go. Reigns is probably going to win. What if they did Joe and Braun? I can't remember who posted that on here. Someone said Joe and Strowman.
I don't know if I would like that very much. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure. I'd be torn to see. I wouldn't mind the match. I think Strowman would win, though.
Okay. Or why not go Joe back? Anything. They could do that again. That'd be fine with me.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Who? Balor? Is that what you said?
Yeah, Joe and Balor, yeah.
Let's move on to the Shield reunion tease. Okay. All right. We can touch on that. All right. The Miz comes out, has his little Mizzies where he was giving out rewards out to Bo Dallas, Kurt Hennig. No, not Kurt Hennig. Kurt Axel. Yeah, I'm sorry. Ugh. And his wife, of course, Maurice. And, of course, Dean Ambrose interrupts. And I'm thinking, man, damn, this freaking feud is still going to go on. No. And then he teased about Rollins, which I thought was interesting. So Rollins ends up getting involved.
Also Tozawa. I was like, what the hell? He even said Tozawa.
My question is for you guys. Will it be a triple threat for the Intercontinental title at SummerSlam between Miz, Dean Ambrose, and Seth Rollins? Go ahead first, Dave.
Probably. More than likely, because it seems that's what they're going to do. Because they don't got nothing to do for Ambrose either if they make it Rollins and Miz. So, and they're kind of teasing this whole thing with Rollins and Miz a little bit. Still, Rollins and Ambrose still kind of. Everyone's mad that Ambrose didn't want to be all forgiving and happy about it. I mean, dude, why would he? It should just forgive and forget.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he busted his head with a cinder block, too, so let's not forget about that not that long ago.
Appreciate all those hearts, man. Thanks. All the hearts are very much appreciated. Like you said, we're almost at 200,000 hearts, so we appreciate that.
Ever since they all got put on Raw, you know it's coming eventually. It's going to happen.
I think
sooner or later, yeah.
No, maybe. Possibly. He's kind of teasing it a little bit. Ambrose should be grateful Rollins is willing to work with him. Oh, Jesus. Oh my goodness. Maria needs to stop running her mouth and get in the ring. Oh, okay. What about eggs? What? I'm sorry, I didn't even mean to, I shouldn't have read that. Anyways, so I mean, would y'all be interested in a triple threat match?
I think that's what they're doing, though. I think they're going
They
that.
haven't said anything about my super
I
hard status. I haven't heard back from them yet. What was that, Dave? I'm sorry.
I think. Oh, shut up, Texas kid. Rollins carried Ambrose, please.
I just wish they would move on from damn Ambrose and Miz already. I'm tired.
Right. I mean, why do y'all want?
I don't want a triple threat. I just think that's the route they're going.
No, I mean, I think a triple threat. Maybe. What about Wyatt? Maybe 4-way.
Yeah, they could do that.
Do you think we finally get maybe Balor and Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam?
That'd be nice.
Yeah, I would like that.
A title shot when Bray has beaten him twice. That's a good point. That's a good point. I pray Angle's love interest is not Dixie Carter.
That would be terrible.
Oh god. Oh man. I'm just gonna block this guy. Anyways,
I've heard that talk too over line. I've heard people mention it. What if it's Dixie Carter?
Speaking of Kurt Angle, we'll touch on Kurt Angle right now. That he teases that he's going to be coming out with what the big secret is next week on Raw. Tells whoever was on the phone with him that he loves her. I'm sorry, and that doesn't want. Don't be scared or embarrassed that we have to do this. All right, I know it's kind of tough, and it's looking like it's going to be some kind of like love story of some sort. If you could guess of a person, any idea of who it would be?
To me, they have to go with the most obvious. And the most obvious is Stephanie.
Yep, I agree.
Because they had that history back in the day on the old SmackDown. You know, or Kurt kisses Stephanie, and then Triple H wants to kill the guy. That was a great rivalry, too. I loved that rivalry back in the day. Triple H and Angle, that was great.
I think it's Steph. Yeah. Didn't he say I love you to whoever he was on the phone with? Yes, correct. Maybe it's a child no one knows about. But I don't know.
That would be kind of interesting too, though. I don't know.
It could be one of Triple H's child, because I think Kurt was gone way before that.
Dixie be on Angle Video Monday? I mean, what would they say? Like during when Kurt Angle was with TNA, they had a love relationship, and they had Gable when he was in TNA, and now he's with the WWE. Is that what they're gonna do?
Well, the crazy thing is, it's in Nashville next week too. So
yeah, but she's not from Nashville. She's from Texas.
Well, she lives.
Lives in Nashville.
Oh, I thought she lived in Texas.
No.
Oh, okay, so that would make sense, then, I guess.
Gable is kid. That's the only thing because Gable, if they wanted to do is like a long lost kid, you would think it would be like Gable because he most resembles Kurt Angle. If they wanted to go that type of a route, I'm not sure who would be the mother. That's kind of silly. But
gonna be
who would be would it be Mickey James? No.
No, because they're the same age almost. That would be.
Mickey and who? Kurt?
No, Mickey James being like that. Maybe his love, the love interest. Maybe that's the only.
Oh, you don't gotta have it be something like. Oh, I guess you would have to have it be some random actress, I guess, come in and say it was her and the whole.
Maybe just an actual.
It could be Claire from TNA.
Claire Lynn. Yeah. Oh goodness.
Yeah. Who was Dixie supposed to have an affair with? Was that Kurt Angle and TNA they did with? Was that who that was? Or was it No, it's AJ, wasn't it? They were saying AJ. Yeah, I just remember that popped in my head for some reason. The affair they were saying.
Definitely gonna be a must-see Raw next week to see what's gonna go down. Also, Kurt Angle 24. If you haven't seen it,
that was badass, amazing.
Definitely go check it out. It would bring back the cerebral assassin out of Hunter, not the cool. It could be Dixie. If it was Steph, imagine if it was Stephanie McMahon. Why is Corey Graves the only one allowed in on it? That's a good point.
what would Corey had to be doing with it. You know, I mean, why? I mean, you know, because how would he be connected to Triple H and Stephanie at all? That would make no sense to me. So maybe we're all thinking too much into it. Maybe it's not that. You know, maybe it's something else. Because why would Corey Graves have to do with this?
Yeah, that's the weird. That's the wrench in all of it. That's the.
It's Linda McMahon. Oh, Jesus Christ. Like, what history do Kurt and Graves have? I'm interested in seeing where Graves fits into this. What if Corey Graves is sabotaging shit? Maybe he wants to be GM. That's a good point.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. I would miss him on commentary though, but that would be like some kind of like Master Swerve movie shit if they did that kind of stuff to make where Corey Graves is some kind of like Triple H side hand. He ends up being a GM.
To do with the kid, I think it's probably going to be something that Graves got footage when somebody said they seen him and Stephanie, or Kurt and Stephanie out somewhere, and they got the whole, you know, they got it on tape.
All the hearts. Thank y'all for the hearts. And it's crazy if you would have said in 2017, 3 years ago, we started doing these videos off and on. If we said in 2017 that Dixie Carter was going to be on a WWE network and some sort of a documentary, we would have slapped ourselves. I mean, this is crazy to see Dixie Carter on the WWE network, and I'm wondering if she doesn't have any type of leeway with footage, right? Of getting footage to the WWE.
Not anything. You know what's perfect about
video library.
And AJ Styles talking about it, and those were two guys he had really great matches with in TNA as well. So those were perfect.
TNA and Joe, they have definitely. That was cool. They had guys that were in TNA talk about his time in TNA. Also Mickey James as well. All right, Balor and Sampson, they went at it finally. Balor gets the win. My question for you guys is this: who the hell is Balor facing at SummerSlam? Go with you first, Justin.
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, obviously, I kind of hope it would be Bray Wyatt, because having the Demon versus Bray Wyatt, I think that would be an awesome match. Because you know it's SummerSlam, he's going to bring the Demon out, whoever he's facing.
People are saying Samson. No, not again. He beat Samson clean. Why the hell would we face him again? I mean, it could happen. I hope not. So you say Bray Wyatt makes kind of makes sense if Rollins actually kind of moves on from Bray Wyatt eventually.
Because you got to figure whoever he's facing, he's going to bring the Demon out. Cause it's
Architect, have a good one, man. Appreciate you dropping by. Yeah, good point, Justin. What about you? I say Samson or The Miz. Okay. What about you, Dave?
I would love to see them. I don't think they will add him to this whole picture with the IC title too. Why not? If you're gonna do that, I mean, that'd be interesting. Or you can go Joe, depending on what happens this week, coming week on Raw. You can go Joe Balor, Bray. I mean, there's so many options you can do actually.
Do you think maybe it would be maybe we see a 6-man tag at SummerSlam where we see the Hardys and him team up versus the Club and Samson, maybe?
I hope not.
If they don't have an idea of what to do with Balor, I could see that maybe. I mean, my question is what the hell are they going to do with Balor, and what are they going to do with the Hardys at SummerSlam?
It seems like they're going Revival Hardys at SummerSlam. It seems that's what they'll probably go.
That would be really good. I would like that match.
Or maybe, what about a triple threat tag team match? The Club, the Revival, and the Hardys.
You got to throw in the tag champs too, wouldn't you?
That's a good point. Maybe that would be a good match, I think. I would love to see that.
Fatal 4-way for the tag titles?
If there isn't a triple threat match for the IC title, why not do Ambrose Balor? I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting way to. The Club has no momentum. Yeah, they don't. Well, yeah, Hardy's better. Yeah, they did beat the Hardys finally. I'm not sure how long it took them to finally get a win. It's been a while. I know that.
Been on TV in a while either.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see what they do with the Hardys. No, just because they kind of teased it, they don't. Yeah, they were in negotiations, but it seems like I don't know if talks have ended or what. But no, they have not gotten the broken Hardy gimmick back yet, so that's unfortunate.
They're teasing it real bad though.
Yeah, they were.
They're making
Jeff Hardy singing that song. Yeah, that was great.
Well, see, The only thing they're allowed to say, and they will have no issues saying it, is obsolete. Because apparently Jeff Hardy has it in some sort of song of his.
Okay. I don't think they can own the word obsolete. You know.
Yeah, well, you know what I mean. Because the broken, the
Brother Nero. That's Jeff's name is Nero, so I don't think they can own that either.
right, yeah, yeah. So
yeah, that's his middle name.
Yeah, so it's gonna be interesting. They're teasing it and they're making sure you don't forget it. So when it actually happens,
the crowd's really going crazy. Yeah, crowd's going nuts for that. Another really quick thing about last night is how cool was it to see Brock and Angle just standing there talking for just a few seconds? I just love that.
Oh, Rebby said they reached an agreement last week. Jeff Jarrett lied.
Really? Because just today there was news that broke out yesterday that there's still nothing going on about it.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't know. His wife says that something's going on. I would believe his wife over rumors. It's either Jeff's line or Rebby's line, one of the two. I know. I saw what she tweeted. She does often. Oh, really? So I mean, I don't know. It's believe and don't believe. I know a lot of people are not a lot of people are against Jeff Jarrett, like Shane Helms, the Hardys, Rabbi Sky, and a lot of people are liking what Jeff Jarrett's doing currently with the TNA product.
I mean, let's look at this from a different angle. If this was WWE, you think they would give the name rights up?
No, probably.
I doubt it.
No, if this was reversed and they wanted, just like Bully or Bubba Ray, he wanted the Dudley's name, and WWE said, no, it's ours. No. So we had to come up with a completely different name.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's the same situation. Copyright laws, if you don't copyright the name.
I don't know if they're going to ruin the broken gimmick. I think they can make it a lot. I don't know. That's he or she's
budget, but
no opinion on that. I don't know. I think WWE can make it look a lot better.
That's what made the Hardy final deletion thing so cool. It wasn't a huge budget. It was a very low budget. What happened to McMahon blank checkbook, would that really make it better? Because wasn't the cool thing is it was out there and it was kind of low budgety. So I don't know.
Yeah, that made it kind of better.
I'm sorry?
Yeah. No, well, it's
what was that just?
Dave said having that low kind of budget made it look that much better.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see what WWE will eventually do with it whenever that lawsuit's settled. Looks like to me we're going to see a lot of Fatal 4-Ways triple threats at SummerSlam, because I think we're going to see some sort of Fatal 4-Way, maybe a triple threat at SummerSlam between Alexa Bliss, Sasha Banks, Bayley, and probably Nia Jax as well. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
You think Alexa Bliss will be retaining a title after SummerSlam? I know it's kind of early. We don't even know who she will be facing. But you think they're going to continue the ride with Alexa Bliss? What do you think, Justin?
I really hope so, but the only person, and this is probably just only me, that I see beating her would be Nia Jax, and let her run with the belt for a while, even though she still needs a little bit more time, I say, but just having her run with it after Alexa Bliss. Okay.
All right. What about you, Dave?
I think Nia Jax. I really do. I think she deserves it, because after she went 30 minutes, out there wrestling on Raw. And if they would have had her win that match, think how dominant she would have looked. Jeez.
Mm-hmm.
And Sasha just to beat her. I think Nia deserves it after all that. I think she deserves to be champion.
Okay, I like Nia Jax a lot, but the only person I think that could beat Alexa Bliss is Sasha Banks at SummerSlam. Do I think it's gonna happen? No. I think they keep continuing the ride with Alexa Bliss, but man, Nia Jax has shown and improved a lot in the last at least month or two. I'm not sure how she's done on her promos and whatnot, but in the ring, she's done a lot to proven herself to be championship material in the future. Main event, we had Bray versus Rollins. Bray gets the win again. Holy crap! A two-match winning streak for Bray Wyatt, and the Miz and the Miz Taraj attack Rollins at the end, and then Ambrose makes the save. Do you think this is the end of the Bray and Rollins feud?
I hope so.
It seems like it. Oh, go ahead, Justin.
No, I was just saying I hope it is. I'd like to see them both move on to different people.
Okay, fair. What about you, Dave?
Shockingly enough, I actually thought the match was really good. I thought it was better than the pay-per-view. I was actually kind of into the match. I thought it was good. I liked it.
Whoa!
The match is really good, actually. What? Someone say something?
Okay. I'm surprised to hear that from Dave, the guy that
I didn't care for the match at the pay-per-view, but I thought this match was really good.
It better be tired of Bray dragging Seth down. All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Who knows? I thought it was funny that it was Bo who came out, but yeah, or Bo Axel, if we want to call him.
So Bray Wyatt wins. It looks like probably next week get a tag match. I'm pretty sure on Raw. So that's Raw in a nutshell.
And you know Brock's not going to be there. So
that's why I think we get Strowman next week.
You think we get a 6? We don't. That's right, because wrestling next week. Never mind.
So
I forgot
out of a 1 being it sucked ass, 3 being it was really it was all right, and 5 being was really good. What did you think of Raw this past Monday night? People in the chat room and Dave, what did you think?
I thought I wasn't really bored with the show. I thought it was really good. I think I'd give it a 4.
Whoa, a 4. Okay.
I said a 4 was, but you didn't really say, so I'm hoping it's good.
3.5. We got some 3s in the chat. All right.
I'd say a 4. I'd say a 4.
Because I really enjoyed a match we didn't even talk about, which was I thought the Hardys and the Club had a really good match. I really enjoyed that match. Yes, they did.
Oh yeah, well yeah, that's fine. We kind of touched on it. Well, I asked you, what did you think we'll see at SummerSlam? I didn't really.
Goldust.
But yeah, the Hardys.
You know that
the Hardys lose again. What's that?
I thought Goldust and R-Truth also had a really good match on Raw.
Yeah, I'm wondering what they're going to do with Goldust now. So, wow, a lot of 3.5s. So that was a pretty solid Raw overall. Okay, I like that. I'll give it a 3.5 as well. I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens with Angle, and I love the Samoa Joe, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns thing. That was really good.
Hell yes.
All right, let's move on to SmackDown Live. But before then, let's do our Lane to SmackDown segment where we give our thoughts on one thing that we may like or hate. Like or dislike going on in the WWE product right now. We'll go with Dave first. What would you like to lay the SmackDown on this week, Dave?
Well, it's going to tie into what we're about to go talk about. So, I mean, I guess I can do it. It's about 205 Live, actually. Man, I mean, I'd really love to know. I don't get why they do this, but 205 Live basically is Evolve without a title. They have good matches. But it's like, what are they doing to Evolve or to 205? They should almost just take it off of Raw, the Cruiserweight title, and just put it in Orlando and film it NXT or something. It's getting really bad because people are supposed to tune in, and I get the live crowd while they're leaving. I get that. But people, they want us to all tune in just for gimmick matches. You're not going to see no title matches on there. That's one of my big problems with it. I think 205 Live can be a really good show, but it's held back because they have the Cruiserweight titles only exclusive to Raw and the pay-per-views, basically.
Okay. Anything else?
I think it should be moved, honestly. I do. I think it should be taken off Raw and just put in Orlando.
All right. I have a little thing to touch on 205 myself. Since I went there and saw it live, I think I have a feeling of what could be the problem. But we'll go with Justin next. What would you like to lay the SmackDown on this week, Justin?
Well, I'm going to be in the minority on this, but as a whole, I liked Raw a lot better than I like SmackDown this week. I don't know. Okay. To me, just SmackDown seemed to be, I don't know, maybe it's because we were there or whatever, but to me, it seemed like it was lacking. I thought that just the Lesnar segment alone was better than the whole show of SmackDown yesterday.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I was kind of let down. I don't know. I can't explain it, but I just thought SmackDown could have been a lot better.
I feel you on that. To me, lately, the last couple of weeks, Raw has been a little bit more edgier than SmackDown Live. And the fact of having blood and stuff like that and the type of matches they've been having, And, you have Brock Lesnar saying shit and stuff like that on TV, even though, they bleeped it out. But it's just crazy how, how much more, a little bit more edgier Raw is. Not saying that SmackDown isn't good or wasn't good. It seems a little bit more edgier than lately, than it has been in the last couple of months.
Right,
huh?
I disagree with his comment he just put in. Saying Smack. I guess that's his opinion. So go ahead.
I didn't see it. I'm sorry.
About Raw has consistently been better than SmackDown since WrestleMania.
I don't know. That's going on long.
That's kind of a far reach.
Yeah, that's a bit of a reach. I mean, it's all opinion. I mean, it all depends on what show you like more than the other. Last night, I mean, I guess to me, I thought Raw was better, but I thought because I was more into it than I was on SmackDown, and I was there at SmackDown Live. Even though SmackDown Live has some good matches, I just thought, I'm really into the Brock and all that stuff. But anyways.
But a quick rebuttal on that really quick. My whole situation with Raw and SmackDown is like all my favorite wrestlers are on SmackDown. I like maybe 3 or 4 wrestlers on Raw. So that's my beef with I like SmackDown better because everyone on there is like one of my favorite. All my favorites are on SmackDown. I'm not trying to say I just hate on Raw all the time because they have some. I like some stuff they're doing, but honestly, I just think SmackDown has the better roster if you're an indie fan. Really, if you're a fan of any of these guys from the Indies or TNA or ROH or whatever, New Japan. I mean, they have
people are in the same boat as you on that. About SmackDown doesn't have any hot feuds. Raw has 2. See, I kind of agree with him on that.
What's the hottest feud in SmackDown right now?
There isn't one really.
Yeah, really. I can't think of a really hot feud.
AJ and Owens. I guess that's the only one. I mean, Daniel Bryan and Ellsworth. Is that the hottest feud on SmackDown? Really? Is that the hottest feud on SmackDown?
And then the thing is, too, we saw they had American Alpha on the pre-dark match with Sin Cara. I was like, why are they being wasted with that?
Yeah, they were on the warm-up match. Yeah, so it's just like no one cares about any of those feuds. Yeah, Gilbert versus Jinder versus Orton is probably the hottest feud on SmackDown. Yeah,
Orton wasn't even there yesterday.
Yeah, Orton wasn't even there last night. Yeah, so.
I mean, I don't even care about that feud. I'm more interested in AJ, and I do like what they're going. It seems like we'll probably get into it with Kanellis and Zayn looks interesting too, I think.
Mm-hmm. But what I want to touch about my lane to SmackDown before we move to SmackDown real quick, 205 Live, it's in a tough spot. If you're gonna have it after SmackDown Live, after you have some of the matches and some of the stuff or some of the shows that SmackDown Live has, you have to make 205 Live constantly and consistently great. I mean, you gotta have gimmick matches. You gotta have your world champion on the show every week. You gotta have that stuff happen. The I Quit match was really good, but who's gonna stay? Honestly, if you were going to SmackDown Live next week, would you stay for a 2 out of 3 falls match for Gulak and Mustafa? That's probably gonna last 15 to 30 minutes. Probably gonna be half the show. No, I would not.
I wouldn't either, honestly.
Yeah, so after you just sat there.
But will you tune in on the network to watch that?
Probably not.
You wouldn't? See, I think that sounds interesting to me. I want to watch it, see that actually. I think that sounds like a good match.
Yeah, but I don't see it. Not a lot of people think that way, though. I think they need to have, like you said, they need to have their world champion involved a lot more, and they need to have their world champion defended on 205 Live. Not maybe every week, but they need to make it where it's special. Hey, this week Neville is defending his title. I don't even care if it's a guy that he's going to beat. Just have him defend it. If I'm there, I'm watching. Yeah, I would probably most likely stay. I'm a wrestling guy. But a lot of people probably wouldn't stay. Like kids wouldn't stay for that.
How was it last night? Did a lot of people leave? You were saying, I think you were telling me last night that a lot of people did leave even during SmackDown.
Not during SmackDown, no. But I would say about mid-205, mid-show, a lot of people left. But a lot of people stayed because they wanted to see Nakamura. And that's what they do. Before 205 Live starts, they say, okay, after 205 Live, it's going to be your dark match, Nakamura versus Corbin.
Yeah.
That makes, okay, let's stay for 205 Live so we can see this dark match. And then a lot of people will stay and sit there and watch it so they'll see, because they can see Nakamura. So, I mean, it's smart, but they need to have Neville a little bit more involved.
So
and
you
I think
they should take the Cruiserweight title off of Raw and just do their own thing on one brand? Be their own thing like NXT?
Yeah, I saw the debate you and Dave had on Twitter. I think I don't mind it on Raw, but they need to have them defend it on 205 every now and then, and make it special to where it makes you want to tune in. Neville was a damn good wrestler. Who else? Why wouldn't you want to see Neville versus Tozawa or Neville or Neville versus Rich Swann or Neville versus whoever on 205 Live? Because it would be a good match. I mean, that's what I see. They're trying to bring back something they didn't do any good back in the day with that 205. And they're doing a lot of more high-flying moves lately, and the matches have been good.
Well, what the guys are using, too. I mean, because Cedric Alexander is freaking unbelievable. He's a high flyer.
Yeah, so I'm hoping he'll be next in line to face Neville.
I don't know if we're going to talk to you more about 205 Live tonight during this SmackDown review, but really quick, I want to say that I Quit match probably the best match of the whole night that night, including SmackDown.
Yeah.
And that match is awesome.
I might need to show you all my top 10. Top 10. Oh, we don't want top 10. All right,
want
let's go to SmackDown Live, where we had Styles open the show. Of course, showing that he won the U.S. title at Madison Square Garden over the weekend. And he seemingly looks like he's going to bring back something that I am very, very, very excited for, and that's the U.S. Open Challenge.
Yeah.
And I cannot freaking wait for that. That will make SmackDown even more better than it already is.
Did it make a lot of people more mad and kind of turn people off of SmackDown when they teased the match that everyone really would love to see last night and then not have it? Did that kind of turn everyone off of SmackDown last night a little bit? Like, oh, come on. You know?
I was excited to see the match, but I think, we had a feeling that Kevin Owens was going to get involved some way, somehow. And I'd rather have Kevin Owens get involved that way than we have a good 10, 15-minute match, and then he comes down and ruins it,
And I called the tag match at the end, too.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah, so we got the tag match, which was the main event, Styles, Cena, and versus Rusev and Kevin Owens. But are you guys excited to see the U.S. Open Challenge back? And who was one guy, other than Nakamura, of course, you would want to see answer Styles' challenge?
For me, personally, I want it to be Ty Dillinger. Ty and AJ would be awesome, I think, given enough time.
Okay. What about you, Justin?
Yeah, Dillinger would be good. You can throw Sami Zayn in there. I think he would be a good one.
I'm looking at young guys. I want to see the younger guys get a shot. That's what I'm looking at, like that.
Yeah.
Like he gave Stardust and Ambrose a shot before Ambrose was really doing anything back then. And
Jason Jordan and AJ Styles, I think, would be good too.
Ooh, yes, that's a good one, Justin. I like that.
Yeah.
Let me see. Who's one guy that I would love to see Styles face for the title? It's a good question. I was
looking for young guys, but if you want to look at NXT, how cool would it be to see
Big E versus AJ Styles? That'd be interesting. What about Tyler Breeze?
Yeah, that could be good.
Tyler Breeze versus AJ Styles or a Rusev. AJ Styles.
I would think guys who haven't really had the shot, do something like that, and give them the opportunity.
Oh, I'm sure we're gonna get that, but it's gonna eventually. I'm just naming names.
Mike Bennett or Mike Kanellis would be good too.
Oh yeah, that'd be another one. Save Rusev versus AJ for a pay-per-view. All right, I could agree with you on that. Anybody from the New Day?
A good one, I think.
Which one? Who?
Jason Jordan.
Yeah, like Justin said, yeah, that would be a good one. So that's gonna be good. That open challenge seemingly is back. Nakamura was supposed to face Corbin, but they got at it before the match started.
I'm glad this happened. I really am.
Looks like these two guys will be facing they are going to be facing each other at Battleground. It looks like Battleground is pretty much shaping up, and that's what we're going to be talking about next week. Excuse me, on Tuesday night. Tuesday night will be our Battleground preview. Looks like so far we have Nakamura versus Corbin. We have the tag titles match, world title match, US title match. Then we have the Fatal 5-Way, which they announced last night, which will be Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Naomi. I'm not sorry, not Naomi.
Lana.
Lana, Tamina, and Natalia. Now, my thing is, are you guys tired of the same women being involved, or do you want actually to see a one-on-one feud finally? And who do you think?
Number one contenders match, so I mean, it's not a title match.
But it's seeming like we're always seeing these type of matches.
Well, that's all they have, though. They only have.
That's their whole division, yeah.
So why not put them all?
Why not finally get Naomi facing someone finally?
You can, but I think this is the way to go to have someone different win the match. Like, I don't think it's going to be obviously Charlotte winning this match. I think they're going to go a small. I think they're saving Charlotte for the title for maybe something bigger later on. They're just saving it.
I don't know how I feel about that title glowing like that either. That's kind of.
Yeah, it is. I'm not really feeling that glow either. Yeah.
Okay. Think there's so many women wrestlers that need to just come up with a women wrestling show. Well, if they're going to be doing a women's wrestling tournament here soon, so you'll get your wish in that sort of a way. Also, we'll probably get also Sami Zayn and Mike Kanellis, since last night Sami Zayn went to apologize and for being Sami Zayn, he was smashed over the head with a flower vase over the head. And this is definitely going to happen at Battleground. Maybe next week. I don't think so. I would like WWE to have Kanellis face some kind of like jobber instead of Sami Zayn next week.
I like that. Save it for Battleground. Don't even make Kanellis, Bennett, whatever you want to call him, wrestle yet. Save it for Battleground.
Yes, Davis debuted early on
next week
for Battleground.
So, I mean, yeah.
Let's see what else. We had a women's tag match, which was pretty solid on SmackDown Live, and also the main event on SmackDown Live. I mean, SmackDown Live, there's not very much to talk about. It was just more of
a decent show. It wasn't great or nothing, but it was a decent show. I mean,
it was just a show to get you along to next week, which is the go-home show, the Battleground.
Mm-hmm, yep.
That's what hurts them, too, because being so short, and they don't really have a huge roster either. They can go out there and put on these great matches every week, because then you're going to get sick of it.
Yeah,
true. What are you gonna do? I mean, you're gonna do these epic matches every single week? You can't.
Yeah. So my question for you guys in the chat room, and Dave and Justin, if you were giving this a 1 through 5, what would you give SmackDown Live last night?
I would say a 3.
A 3? All right. Dave?
I don't think it was that good last night, so I'd say like a 2.
Whoa, a 2 from Dave. Okay. I would give it a 3 as well. And I think maybe that's probably because we were there live. Oh, we got a 3.5.
I thought 205 Live was actually better than SmackDown. They had some really good matches last night, 205. Like I said before, that freaking match, I mean, Cedric Alexander just freaking taking his freaking smashing dude's hands in the chair so long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a really good match.
Noam Dar. I mean, people who see this match just to go back and watch it. Noam Dar basically destroyed Alicia Fox. It's a great promo on her.
Yes, and I left right before that started, so.
Yeah, it was a really good match.
It went longer than I expected too. I was like, I didn't know it was gonna be like an old school I Quit match like that either. I was like, sweet, this is kind of cool.
Yeah, so next week we'll be heavy on the Battleground pay-per-view talk. We'll touch a little bit on Raw, of course, because we're gonna have the big number 1 contender match next week on Raw, and then the Angle whole storyline as well. But we'll touch on Battleground next week. Jinder Mahal for the title versus Orton as well. Odds Jericho returns for a U.S. Open Challenge. It wouldn't be way down the line. Saturday night we will be live as well again with another This Week in Wrestling podcast show. It's going to be heavy on Global Force Wrestling and the whole Alberto El Patron situation. All right, Catino, thanks for checking us out tonight, man. Appreciate all the hearts, too. We'll be touching on that. We'll touch on NXT. A lot of NXT news to touch on Saturday night. So I hope you guys can join us then. And the next Tuesday night, Battleground pay-per-view preview and touch a little bit on Raw as well. SmackDown Live 2. Hearts. No update on the Super Hearts. I'm not sure what the deal is with that, but who cares? We finally hit 300 followers on Periscope, so that's awesome. And I'm sure after this show, we're going to probably hit over 200,000 hearts on Periscope, so that's pretty damn cool. Let's see how many guys came in here and checked us out tonight. 75 viewers tonight on a show we're not even supposed to be on tonight, so appreciate all you guys coming in here. We'll be live at the regular time and day next week, Tuesday night. So yeah, anything y'all guys want to touch on before we head out for the night? Dustin, Dave?
Did you want to talk about the Del Rio deal, or?
Yeah, what do y'all's quick thoughts about Del Rio and I should say El Patron?
Yeah.
And this whole situation with her Paige and El Patron. What do you guys think of it? And are you kind of scared for Paige, or kind of crazy shit between these two guys? What do you think, Justin?
I mean, honestly, I don't know what to think, but since he is suspended, you would figure that they would strip him of the titles. He's suspended indefinitely. But the funny thing is, he said he was supposed to be here in town, saying he invited him to a stupid restaurant, this and that. But if he was actually detained by the police, he would still be in Orlando. He wouldn't be in San Antonio. So I don't know what you're thinking about that. But.
Right. Yeah, it's just a funky, crazy situation. Yeah. Do you think he's definitely killed Paige's career?
Oh, yeah. Yes.
So far? What about you, Dave? What do you think is going on?
Man, it's really sad because even her brother this past weekend put out a Facebook message about someone needs to step in and do something because Del Rio. And he said this isn't the first time. He's had other issues where domestic violence has been reported with him and Paige. And it just seems like it's actually really scary to think after everything we've seen happen over the years with stuff like this. I mean, it's really scary if something could happen to her with the way Del Rio just doesn't really seem like the same guy, but we really don't know these guys. I mean, look at Bram. Not that long ago, he was arrested for keeping someone, or was that Charlotte I'm thinking of? Where there was some girl or something he had locked up in his basement or something like that.
I can't remember that one.
I know him and Charlotte had a past. It was dating Bram before, and they had domestic issues too. So, and they still kept Bram for a long. They do nothing with him. So, I gotta imagine. I don't think they'll do nothing with Del Rio, but they said they suspended, and we'll see what that means. But yeah, it's really scary to think about.
Yeah, she's definitely in a scary situation. I think El Patron ruined her career. I don't think she'll ever be back with the WWE. Not anytime soon, at least. He looks like he's that type of a guy that's very controlling and very obsessive of Paige.
He does, yeah.
Definitely seen the way that she's always with him and always at his shows, and he hasn't ever since they gotten together. She's always by his side. She hasn't been with the WWE. She's with him. So it's just, I think she's scared for her life. I think Del Rio would and could, if was provoked high enough, could kill her if it got to that point. I mean,
and I really hope that's not a news story we end up hearing anytime soon. I really don't want to see that. I really don't, because
hell no.
She needs to get away from this. And I don't know if she will, because she might be too caught up to even get out.
Yeah, I know, but she's making excuses for the guy, and there's audio of her saying that this, and then she's saying something else. Yeah. It's something's up. Scary.
You hear a lot about with domestic violence situations where they apologize and make excuses for the people who are beating them because they think that it gets in their head. They get kind of screwed up. But she's still really young too.
Very young, and so it's just hopefully for the best for Paige, and hopefully she can get out of this funky situation, and we'll see what goes on from there. But thank you guys for coming in here tonight. I missed all the new stuff. Fill me in. It's not much other than he said, she said bullshit. You'll find it on the wrestling news sites. Join us Saturday night. We're gonna touch a lot more on this. That's where we touch on more other wrestling companies other than WWE. Tonight we'll just touch on WWE. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Justin, for an awesome show tonight. Thank you very much for everybody popping in. We had a total of 78 viewers. Thank you, everybody, for all the replays. Thank you, everybody, for all the hearts. Finally got over 300 followers. That's a huge accomplishment for us as a Get the Tables podcast, because we never thought we would get that many followers. This is definitely the most success we've had ever, and it's all because of you guys. So we'll see you guys Saturday night. Thank you, everybody. All righty.